Hi everyone, hope you've had a great week. I'm Chris Hutchings and welcome to this week's DTM SEO Weekly Bulletin. First up this week is Schema. Now, those of you who know me know I've talked about this for a long time and you know how important I think this is. This has been highlighted from the recent blog from Google Webmasters. Have a look at it below, it's well worth the read, and I really believe that Schema is something that's going to be the norm. A lot of sites are using it already. In fact, most sites are using it already. If you're not, you're really going to get left behind. Have a read of that post below, and if you've got any comments or feedback, let us know in the comments. Next up is social signals and authority. Now, social signals has been quite an interesting topic in the world of SEO for last couple of years. Some people think it has an effect, some people don't think it doesn't. I personally believe there are positives from a good social media strategy. I think it can only help your SEO. And this is a long topic, a long conversation. I'm not going to go into it fully here, but it's not about necessarily how many followers you have, how many retweets you get, how many shares you get, how many likes you get. It's more about, for me, the interaction on your website when it's referred to by the social sites. Google can't see past the Facebook logins and the Twitter logins, but what they can see is the action on your site and the referrals from those social media platforms. Now, Matt Cutts released a video this week saying about how they define it, and he gives a pretty big hint at the end of the video about upcoming algorithmic updates, and I suspect that social will play a bit more of a part in these updates. It's not a perfect system, but we know about link manipulation, and realistically, social media is one of the best ways to show your authority in the subject. Now, Google Plus will play an important part of this. You know how I feel on that, and have a watch of Matt's video below, see what you think, and as always, if you've got any feedback, let us know. Next up is penguin penalties. We saw Matt Cutts chatting on Twitter this week with a few people about the differing severity of the penguin penalty on their sites. Now, it's good to see Matt interacting again, and it's worth having a read of the Twitter chat below. And what it highlights is the fact that if you are penalised and you're looking at your backlink profile of thousands and thousands of links, it might not be quite as severe as you think it is. Now, we do regular backlink audits on our clients just to make sure everything's okay, and I suggest you have a look at yours. If you want any help, give us a shout, and you can sometimes nip these things in the bud, and it's not quite as difficult as you think to get rid of. But anyway, have a look at the post below, have a read of the Twitter flow, and let us know what you think. Right, it wouldn't be a typical weekly bulletin if I didn't talk about Google targeting another link network. We've seen it for Germany, we've seen it for France. You're probably fed up with me talking about it, but this week was Japan who were the victims. Now, what this highlights is we all know Google are on the rampage for link networks. If you're still using them, I hope you're not. You might have got away with it so far, but just be warned, if your country hasn't been targeted yet, you can bet your bottom dollar that it will be in the next, might be next week, might be next month, but sooner or later it's going to happen. SEO is tough enough, and if you're still using link networks, right, you might get some quick wins out of it. We know there's guys using these tactics for quick wins with sites that they're not too fussed about. But if you're trying to build a brand, trying to build an e-commerce site, trying to build a genuine information site, there are other ways to go about your SEO than link networks. And sooner or later, I think okay, now we're going to cover something a little bit different. regular readers will know that I often talk about Mac cuts, I often talk about Google. It's safe to say the reason for that is, they're the most influential people in our industry, but we sometimes overlook Bing. Now, you have your own opinions on Bing, I have my own opinions, and I wanted to give them a little bit of exposure. I feel like they deserve it. They've done a redesign of their search page. It's looking more and more like Google every day. It does look better. Now, this won't have any effect on your rankings, but I thought I'd throw them a bone. Another interesting piece of news that we saw in the SEO community this week was the de-indexing of IT company Equalis. Now, believe it or not, these guys were de-indexed for suspected child abuse content on their site. As you can imagine, this is not something you want to be associated with in a professional capacity, let alone the traffic gone, which they relied a lot on Google for, just going completely through the floor. Now, it was a complete error. They had nothing to do with it. But what it's worth keeping in mind is, we check our clients' rankings every day, and I'm sure you probably check the rankings a little more than is probably healthy. But there are a lot of people who set their sites up, do their work, add posts, add content, but maybe don't check the rankings quite as much as they should. It's always worth keeping an eye on this because you want to nip these problems in the bud as soon as possible. And if you don't notice it for a week or two, you can come unstuck. I mean, thankfully for Equalis, this was resolved pretty quickly, but it was only through their observations that it had happened that they managed to get it resolved. And hopefully they might have even got some good links off the back of it. But the traffic seems to have increased again. But just keep an eye on your rankings, and it's always worth, making sure that problems like this don't occur to you and your site. Finally this week, Matt Hutch found himself at the centre of what should we call a viral SEO storm when he tweeted about his interview on the site usesthis.com. Now, for those of you who don't know, UsesThis is an interview site that talks to prominent tech people about what software and hardware they use. As you can imagine, the guy linked to everything that Matt spoke about, which is not necessarily anything wrong with it, but they were all followed links. There was even an affiliate link in the bottom of it, and as a result, the SEO community Thanks for viewing, everyone. Hope you found some of this information helpful. As always, don't forget to share among your social networks, and we look forward to seeing you next week.